Welcome back to my channel. Today I just thought it would be a really good idea for me to sit and chat a bit about a few tips that I found to be very helpful for myself during my homeschool journey. If you notice that I'm looking down or looking over, that's because I have some notes with some of those tips that I don't want to forget during our conversation. So first things first. One of the tips that I thought was really helpful for my child, my son, is his entrepreneurial spirit. If you notice that your child has an entrepreneurial spirit, please hone into that and develop that, regardless of what it may be. My son, for example, he was interested in owning his own business. He was interested in understanding how to write a business plan. How do you start a business? Where do they get their money from? How do you get customers? How do I market a particular service or item? So when I noticed that he was interested in becoming an entrepreneur, then I included some of that business economic aspects of business ownership into our homeschool curriculum. Tip number 2. Give your children praise and affirmation. If they're doing something right, say, that is an awesome job. That is great. Give them motivation, give them encouragement throughout the process. Now, that doesn't mean that you arbitrarily just say, hey, good job or well done when they really did not do such a great job. Be sincere and honest about it. If they deserve praise or kudos, be open to giving that to them every single time. Number 3. Remember, you're not only a teacher to your child, you are their guide. I think it's our responsibility as parents to guide or lead our children into various directions, especially those areas that they show interest in. If your child, for example, is interested in math and you're doing a math problem and it's a little bit difficult for them, don't just give them the answer, but lead them to that answer. Ask them questions throughout the process so that they can understand how to dissect that problem and how to solve it. This is going to create an independent child. I think it's really important nowadays for us to help our children become resourceful and to help them become independent learners. So again, be a guide to your children. Lead them to the answer. Lead them to the right direction during the homeschooling process. Number 4. Develop those soft skills. And when I mean soft skills, I specifically mean those analytical skills, those communication skills, those written skills, presentation skills. Develop this within your children as early as possible. I believe that if you can write and you can communicate, if you can put your thoughts into words that make sense and you can deliver a message and have the listener understand that message, I think a child can go really far with those basic skill sets. So again, include those soft skills within your homeschool. Number 5, grace. This is so important. Give yourself grace during the process. You're not going to get everything right, and that's okay. And you may change your curriculum, your style, your methods, your environment. You may change your whole homeschool concept throughout the years, regardless if this is day 1 of homeschooling, day 20, the 5th year, or your 20th year in teaching. Be open to change. So give yourself grace in doing that. Your child will learn throughout the process, and you will too. In addition, give your children grace. They're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Allow your children room to grow. Give them the room and the space to learn, to develop, to grow, and to find out their own interest, okay? Let them figure out what they like and won't, and what they don't like. And based on those things, tailor your homeschool journey for you and for your child. Number 6, breaks. Give yourself a break. It's okay. And give your child a break. It's also okay. If you are a full-time working parent like myself, and I homeschool my child after school, some people may call it tutoring if it's after school, that doesn't matter. You may homeschool your child during the summer, or you may homeschool your child full-time. Regardless of how you decide to create your homeschool environment, however you decide to move along that homeschool journey for you and your household, give yourself a break. It's okay to not homeschool for a week. It's okay to not homeschool for 2 weeks. It's okay to homeschool a little bit more infrequently if it's part-time, right? But that's okay. Give yourself a break. Also, in terms of breaks, I would say give your child a break, right? Everything does not necessarily require correction. If your child does something wrong or they get something wrong, based on the mood or what's going on that day, it may not be the best thing to provide correction to your child at that moment. I believe that we will have so many opportunities that are presented to us as a way to provide learning opportunities for our children. So if something is not detrimental, right, it may not require correction immediately, but based on what took place, you can bring in a lessons learned from that situation at a later time. So give your child a break. Don't be nitpicky. You don't have to ensure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Remember, too much grace can be enabling to your child, and being too rigid in your homeschooling can be legalistic, and it can push your child away from wanting to learn. Also remember, and we're still on breaks, so also remember that you're a parent and you're a teacher / guide, right? So you need to distinguish the difference between being parent and being homeschool teacher, and your child should also be able to easily distinguish the difference between homeschool parent and, homeschool teacher or guide and parent. Sometimes they work well together. Sometimes they intertwine, and that's 100% a-okay. That's fine. It happens, right? But you don't always want to be in teacher mode 24 hours a day. Sometimes your child may not need that correction right now, immediately. Sometimes they may need the loving word or touch or care of the parent at that moment, and you can teach that lesson later, right? Number 7, comparing. As you go through your homeschool journey, and if you decide to go to social media and search on YouTube, you're going to find so many awesome homeschool examples, okay? However, please do not begin the habit of comparing your homeschool style, method, curriculum, or journey with anyone else. You are different, okay? You are unique. Your style is going to be tailored to your household, your children's personality, your schedule, your children's availability. If you're married, their availability, your goals and objectives, and the resources that you decide to use within your homeschool journey may be different. It may look different because your philosophy is different in comparison to everyone else. And that's okay. So trust in your gut instincts. Trust in what you believe to be what's best for your family, and move with that. And remember, when we talked about giving yourself grace, those things may change over time, right? And that's okay. So it's okay to watch other people. It's okay to learn from others. But once you start comparing yourself to them or comparing your children, then it becomes a problem. You know, once you start saying things like, man, my child is 9 years old and he doesn't read as fluently as that child, or that child is doing pre-algebra in 5th grade and my child's in 5th grade and we're barely getting through fractions, right? Or, man, where does that mom find the time to sit here and clean 24/7, cook 24/7, meal prep, homeschool, work part-time. Everybody is different. And if you just remember that you're unique in your own way, I think that will allow you to flourish a lot better in your journey of homeschooling. And finally, I would say incorporate the foundational skills within your homeschool journey. Don't forget about reading, writing, arithmetic. I believe those are the educational foundations that's going to help propel your child to whatever next level you desire them to be, or they desire themselves to be, right? Incorporate the math, incorporate writing to include penmanship, and also include reading. Not only reading, what do they say, reading internally, but also reading aloud and reading comprehension. Include those things within your homeschool journey, and I think your child will flourish. And remember, here's a bonus one, number 9. You're going to learn so much about your child during this process. You may have to write a book. You're going to learn about your child's likes, dislikes, learning abilities, what they're good at, what areas they need improvement in, what areas they have mastered, their interest. You're going to learn so many things about your child that you did not know, that this is going to be a really exciting journey for you. You're also going to learn a lot about yourself. Why? Because you may not think that as a part-time working parent or a full-time working parent or a work-at-home working parent or a stay-at-home parent, whatever your situation is, you are going to realize that you not only can do it, but you're going to realize that you did it. It's not difficult. Find the time, and we'll go through, I'll create another video where I will show you how I found the time to homeschool my child after work. We do it on the weekends, we do it after work, we do it during the summer, on their winter breaks. I take 2 one-week vacations throughout the year, one vacation to actually vacation, and another week of vacation to do homeschooling or family type things at home with the children. So I'll create some videos and talk to you about scheduling and how to find the time. I'll do that separately because I don't want this video to be too long. We're already into almost 11 to 13 minutes. But I really think that you're going to learn so much about yourself, your capacity, your ability to teach, your ability to engage your children, your ability to actually learn some things that you forgot yourself. When I started this journey in, 2016, the summer, I started this homeschooling thing with my child. I only had a son at that time. Now I have a son who is 9 years old, and I have an 18-month-old daughter. But at that time, I only had my son, and I was pregnant with my daughter. And I was like, oh my God, this is so hard. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But I said to myself, you know what? Although my son does really, really well at school, because he is enrolled full-time at a normal public school, I said, you know what? It's not the teacher's responsibility to do everything. Yes, they get paid to teach my child. Yes, they get paid to, create this environment of learning for my child, but it's not solely 100% their responsibility. I felt a sense of obligation where me too, I had to get involved in my son's education because he at the time was interested in all these different things. He was interested in physics. He wanted to be an engineer, entrepreneur. He was asking me history questions. He was hungry. He was hungry. He wanted more. So when I noticed that, I said, you know what? If he wants more, it's my responsibility as the parent to figure out how I'm going to give him more educationally. And I sat down with my husband and I said, you know what? Although we have so many things to do as working parents and we're already busy, we have to slow down, lean back, and find ways to quench our children's educational thirst and to satisfy their educational hunger. So that's when I sat back, I researched, and I said, hey, let me start somewhere. And then we started doing things after school, and then we just expanded into this whole big old thing that we do now. But again, I'll go into more in depth in separate videos about scheduling, about how to create a schedule, how to do this homeschooling thing as a working parent. So I hope you found this video of interest. I hope out of the 9 tips, at least one thing was useful to you, and that's something that you'll implement within your homeschooling journey. And if you have not already began that journey, it's never too late, right? It's never too late. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, check out a few of my other videos, and until we meet again in another video, as always, make it a great day. Bye.